Over my spring break, I visited French and Indian War post Fort Dobbs, North Carolina in beautiful 4K. I didn't actually visit in 4K. I visited it in real life, but filmed it in 4K to document what I learned and what is at this historical site. If you do a quick Google search for Fort Dobbs, you will see results for the 1958 Western movie starring Clint Walker. This Utah-based production has about as much in common with the football player as it does with the historical outpost. However, it is surprisingly fitting to the subject by being a Western film. Fort Dobbs was ordered to be constructed shortly after the French and Indian War began by then North Carolina Governor Arthur Dobbs to defend the western frontier of the British colonies. This western frontier being a whopping 235 miles from the coast. The actual modern-day Fort Dobbs houses a playground, picnic area, and short walking trail, but doesn't actually house the original fort. It does, however, house North Carolina Historical Society member Andrew Shook, who was kind enough to detail a little bit about the locale.
This is Fort Dobbs State Historic Site. It was where French and Indian War fort stood. It was built, started in 1755, finished in 1756. Originally 50 North Carolina provincial soldiers came out here onto what was then the frontier of North Carolina colony, and built this fort. Basically, they used it as a barracks building to patrol the border between Virginia and South Carolina, and to secure this border against the French or their Indian allies that could come across the mountains. This fort was attacked in February of 1760 by a party of Cherokee who actually started the war allied with the British, but that relationship breaks down by about 1758-59, and it sparks a 2-year Anglo-Cherokee war here on the frontier of North Carolina, and that attack was part of that war.
In addition to the helpful staff here, a modern visitor center built in the style of a frontier building houses various historical artifacts from the fort itself. It also features more information on the fort's history and a model of what it is believed Fort Dobbs looked like. I'll let Mr. Shook explain to you this history of Fort Dobbs in the post-French and Indian War time period.
After the war, the frontier quickly went to the west, and the fort began to deteriorate, and by the early 1800s it was gone. The Daughters of the American Revolution acquired this land in the early 1900s and began preserving it. They gave the site to the state of North Carolina in 1970, and in 1976 it opened to the public.
As it has been alluded to throughout this video, Fort Dobbs does not actually have a Fort Dobbs. It has a mostly complete recreation of Fort Dobbs. Over the vast amount of time where Fort Dobbs has done a particularly bad job at existing, it has done a particularly good job at generating artifacts. Over 6,000 artifacts have come from Fort Dobbs and are on display at places ranging from the on-site historical center to the Smithsonian. Right now, Fort Dobbs is really only used as a public park for the Statesville area and as a site for French and Indian War reenactments. The premier event at Fort Dobbs is the War for Empire 2-day-long detailed reenactment done annually in April. Fort Dobbs has already done a great work at teaching history through its invaluable artifacts, helpful staff, and multiple reenactment events. Once the recreation of Fort Dobbs is complete, it will be a can't-miss historical site.